Hello, hello, hello again. Welcome to our second session of our librarians recordings, where we get to chat and converse to our professional library staff for them to share the insights, experiences, and what is it that they are doing in their respective spaces to support the academic community. Today, my second guest is Mr. Vuyo Ngayeka. We sometimes call him Mr. Crazy, but not today. I'm not going to say much about him. I want him to introduce himself and tell us a little bit more about who is Mr. Vuyo. Mr. Vuyo, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, we welcome you.
Thank you.
And the very first question will be for you to let us know a little bit about you. Where did you grow up? Which school did you attend? And how was it to be that young man as you're growing up?
Well, that story would take forever, but I'll just give you a shorter version of myself.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm actually closer and I come from the Eastern Cape.
Mm-hmm.
Professionally, I'm a librarian, and I was never interested in the librarianship.
Oh, yeah?
If you have to know myself, I was never interested.
Is it?
When I started at Forte as a student, I was a walk-in.
Mm-hmm.
And we were actually looking at something that would give me a job right after school. And we actually realized that there was a lot of job opportunities or vacancies that were being advertised
Mm-hmm.
under the librarianship,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
librarians. So I took that. And, going to classes every day, it wasn't a happy moment because people would actually they would be looking at you because they never knew what librarian meant.
Mm,
So you
mm,
are there now as a student, a first year, you're doing library and information sciences.
mm.
You have no idea if this is on point. You beat yourself every day when you go to class. But um, for me, the change started when I actually worked after my first degree, when I worked at the library at Forte University.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you look at a librarian from a distance, you don't know what they are doing. You think they're just busy, moving books, and all
Mm.
that. But the core of being a librarian, that's something you don't get to know until you are in the
In
field.
practice, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So I was interested. It was actually interesting for me when I started. Now, for every librarian, you start, for me, but maybe for the majority as well, you start at the circulation.
Mm-hmm.
And I started as a shelver at Forte, something that was very annoying at first.
With your qualification,
Um,
if I can ask.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I
Okay.
was I was actually doing my honors in anthropology. I did my library sciences,
And
but then
completed.
yes,
Yes,
but
okay.
then because I didn't have a sponsorship or a scholarship, then a supervisor of mine approached me to say, look, if you were to do honors in anthropology,
Mm-hmm.
I would actually organize you something
Oh,
more like a
yeah.
funding.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
went there.
Mm-hmm.
Now the problem is, while I was there, I was still not interested in library sciences. You know,
Mm.
I had finished my library science degree. I'm doing honors in anthropology, something else.
Oh, yeah, which is
Crazy, right?
totally different,
I
yeah.
know. Yeah. But then as I went along, with the research, I would go to the library and I came across, library science books. And when you read about it, it gives you, detailed information, the background
Mm,
of
mm.
what a librarian is.
What is it that they
Yeah.
do? Yeah.
And if you go down to it, you realize that library science and ICT, they actually, work
Twins.
together.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Something ICT people don't want to admit. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry to say, but I'm making enemies now.
They don't want to listen to
They
us.
don't, you understand? Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, as I was doing my honors, I then started to go. I actually went to ICT department. to ask for a job,
Oh, yeah.
and the library as well. So now I'm working at the library in the afternoon. In the morning, I'm working at ICT.
So you were
IT.
already a hustler
I was a hustler
at your varsity,
because I
yes,
needed to find a way of supporting myself since I didn't have no,
funding, yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But then on my honors, I had the funding, but it was only for, the fees. Yeah. So there was nothing more than, tuition.
Oh, yeah.
So I had now to find a way of living. Hence I went to ICT and I learned the skill. And upon that, I would go to ICT in the morning, go to the library afternoon. After hours, I would
Do your
fix.
anthropology.
No, I would fix students' computers. I was staying on campus
Oh,
for
yeah.
money.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, even computer science people. Yeah,
You'll
they
assist
would come to
into,
me to my
yes,
apartment, not really an apartment, to my room.
to your residence.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
it was actually a bit crazy, but on point. Yeah. But then what I realized as I was moving along was that I was interested more on systems.
Okay.
But now, being or having that background of a librarian, you realize that they are kind of intertwined. So you don't want to separate the two.
Yes.
And growing up, we know that if you're an IT technician, you would have more money than anyone in the field. But then when you study now and having your degree and having that knowledge of what is actually going on, in the industries, that's when you're like, okay, I don't really want to be an IT technician, like pure IT technician.
Yes.
You want to be a librarian who is an IT technician,
but who specializes
background.
into,
Yes, in systems.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
So at the library, I started at shelving. Then from there, for a couple of months, I went to circulation. But because of my interest in ICT, they placed me under library systems.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but my job there was mainly to maintain the computer labs in the library. That is deploying new images,
Oh,
updating,
yes. Oh, yes. The
and so
systems
on.
and that,
Yeah,
yeah.
but maintaining computers within the labs.
Okay.
Yeah. From there, they upgraded a little again. I went to, being a metadata capturer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's where I was exposed to the institutional repository. And then
So that was from a very young age, no?
No, I was actually old. I went to school.
I mean, when you started now to be introduced into metadata and repository and what?
Yeah, but this is happening, very fast because
Very quick.
I'm interested in ICT. As much as I go to them shelves, go to them crazy circulation,
But your heart is
but
still
my
with
heart is over there with the
ICT.
Yeah. So yeah, they introduced me to, the institutional repository, capturing of metadata and, then I got to be familiar with the structure of the repository, the standards that are being used there and so on and so forth.
And all of that.
Yeah. And then I upgraded again.
Yeah, this is like you're writing a biography
You
now.
have no
It's
idea.
thick like this, like the Mandela
It's
one.
crazy. I know.
Okay.
And then they pushed me to acquisitions. So they gave me just a background of what is going on in acquisitions. But then a few months later, I went to systems. At the time, Forte University was using Millennium.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So my line manager at the time didn't have an assistant.
Okay.
So then I took the role of being an assistant in the library system. So I would now support the staff across all the units, circulation, cataloging, acquisitions,
with the systems.
With the systems.
Queries, okay.
Millennium. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah. So that's when I thought I was actually a systems librarian.
A systems librarian.
Yeah, not just a librarian, because I fell in love with the systems and not just the institutional repository. But once you work on systems, you feel like it's nicer when you're at the back. You know, you look at all the troubles, the queries, and all that, and
and
you
troubleshoot and
you have
whatever
no
that
idea
is.
what's gonna come your way. So you have to find a way. That's called troubleshooting.
Every day,
Every
yes,
day.
yes.
Now I'm looking after the library system. I'm assisting my line manager. I'm also looking after the computer lab. You know.
Yo, Mr. Vuyo, thank you so much for that. That was mouthful. You, unlike me, I'm a frontliner. I'm always there with my clients. Okay, take me to systems, I'll be frustrated
Okay.
just in one day. Okay, all right. Thank you for that. And now, fast forward to this day. What is it that you are doing in this library? At what position? And what is your day job looks like?
Well, my portfolio is I'm actually a scholarly communications librarian.
Okay.
Yeah, leave them crazy fancy words like chief officers and all that. But I'm a scholarly communications librarian.
Oh, yeah.
My role is actually to manage the university institutional repository,
Okay.
which is called the Cossy Scholar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I make sure that the university's research output are accessible and discoverable. So that's basically my day jobs, other than other crazy projects that are linked to systems.
Oh, yeah.
Because I do assist with OJS, I do assist with, you know, Figshare because of the background. But my main, you know, role is managing the institutional repository.
Yes.
Yeah, and one of the other components is actually to advocate for open scholarship.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
which means we want people to actually, you know, publish openly. The idea is that people have access to information without paying a dime.
Yeah, you're saying that perfectly, because particularly this week is the beginning of the open access week, where we advocate and promote and make our communities aware of what is it, what do we mean by open access. Yeah. So our research community, they're not that much informed about it, but it depends also on which level are you as a researcher. That is debatable.
Yeah.
Some, they already know what to do. So yeah, this week we are promoting that, as you are mentioning that now.
Yeah.
Okay, we as the library, I know this for sure because I'm a librarian here as well. We recently migrated to a new system. What was your role in this migration process?
Well, first of all, migration, the whole process of migration is a project on it's a complex kind of system. A migration basically means moving from one system to another.
Yes.
So when we did that, they actually nominated or organized a crew or a task team that was going to be responsible for that.
Yeah.
And the task team, you know, it comprised of individuals from different units.
Okay.
We had to have someone from circulation. We had to have someone from acquisitions. We had to have someone from cataloging, someone from ILL, someone from systems. Now we had a couple of guys from the systems who are actually managing different systems, so they were all there. So our team was quite rich. So if we are focusing on a module, then we know that we have someone who actually specialized in that. Because for a migration to take place, you need to understand the workflows for each and every, you know, unit.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
understand. Yeah.
So the migration was actually on point. I mean, with every, you know, migration, it's more like a new project or new task. You never know what you're gonna encounter, you
All
know,
the time,
because
yeah.
you're dealing with data. You don't want to lose data. You know, you're moving from an old system or what they call a legacy system to what they call now the next generation library management system.
Oh, yeah.
So in our case, we're moving from Sierra to ALMA. So it was quite a challenge, if I'm being honest, because you expect from a new system to see things differently whatever you were doing on an old system, you want to, you're expecting an enhancement,
Of
something
course,
easy,
a different look and
a
feel.
different look and feel, and even the workflow, you expect it to be just simple. But one of the main, issues, not really an issue per se, but one of the things I can point out, the very, was that the moment you move to ALMA, take circulation for instance,
Oh yeah.
then you deal with the issue of terminology.
Oh yes.
Yes, because now when you go to ALMA, we don't say circulation. We're saying now we're referring to it as fulfillment.
Oh yeah.
So now
Yeah.
when you look at fulfillment,
So
you're
it's
like,
ALMA
what the hell?
fulfillment.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
ALMA fulfillment. But then the rest, they because of their roles, the functions within each module, then you understand, oh, okay, this is basically what I was doing there. But the terms are different, and
Are
sometimes
different, yeah.
the flow, the way you engage, the system is a bit different. But I mean, overall, it was a very exciting, experience.
Oh
No
yes.
system, something you don't know. You have to do a lot of configurations. I was one of the guys. At one point, I was involved in a migration at Northwest University as a systems librarian. So you know a few things. Okay, when you migrate, this is what you need, and this is what you expect. And because the whole process involved integrations as well as we go along.
And
So
interoperability of
yes,
systems.
yes,
Yeah.
because you need to know now if you are integrating this system with ALMA, you need to see the end results.
Yes.
So we
Yes.
had a few issues that I won't mention here, but overall it was exciting and challenging. Yes.
So now, up to so far, can we say we are over, we are done, we are smoothly running with the ALMA?
If you want me to be honest, I'll tell you that.
Or this is like a plane, it's a takeoff.
Yeah,
We are hitting the runway.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because when you move to a new system, you don't just, like right away, you end up getting hiccups on the way, and you troubleshoot, and then you move forward.
On the
Then at
same
the
time.
corner, you come across another problem that you need to troubleshoot. So we're actually learning as we're going, So we're not like 100%. I'm not even sure if we're 80%. Yeah.
But
the good
slowly
thing-
we'll get there.
Yes.
Yes,
The
we'll get
one
there.
major thing for me is the data. When you migrate, you have the chance of losing data on the way. But I don't remember us losing any data.
Yeah.
So I think everything we had in Sierra, we actually moved it over to ALMA,
Yes.
which is a plus.
Yes.
Because if you were to do your research with other institutions that have migrated from one system to another, you find people crying about losing a lot of data and so on. That was not the case with us.
Oh yeah.
It was just the issue with the workflows and all, something we're still working on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Vuyo, you are a busy man in this library, I can say, like any other professional library in their positions. Thank you so much for your time. But I know you are also a mental health enthusiast, if I can say. In your busy schedule, I've seen you somewhere doing something else, totally different from systems. So can you tell us about the project you're running on the staff mental health?
Well, let me put it like this. We are fortunate here at the University of the Free State Library. We actually happen to have the so-called a social committee task team. Now, in general, a social committee team at a work environment, the main job is to make sure that staff members are happy. You are there to make sure they are happy, because if you remember, you wake up very early in the morning, do whatever you do at home, and then come back by 8 o'clock you're here.
Yeah,
And
at
then
home actually you spend the first 2 hours, then you
spend
must be here.
just 2 hours.
Yes. Then you knock
Away
off, it's
from-
3 hours, you go to bed, you come here.
Exactly.
So we spend most of our lives in the space here.
Exactly. So I was actually, I am part of that task team. And when we sat down as the social committee task team, we thought, because like any organization or unit, there are challenges. I don't know you, you don't know me. We only meet here. You have your own crazy challenges. I've got my own challenges. Now, if we are meeting and we're trying to work together and I've
To
got
achieve a common
a
goal.
common goal and I've got my own crazy luggage of stress or issues back from home, they get to, affect
Somewhat
the
clash.
way, the way we interact as employees. So we thought, okay, because of such challenges, how about we come up with something, that would get us together? Because we also realized that we had a challenge with collaboration. We've got so many units within the library. So, like for instance, there's teaching and learning, there's research and scholarly, there's collection development and all that.
There's cataloging and
Yes,
yeah.
but it's not easy now for these different units to work together because we're not familiar with one another. We haven't, worked
Especially
that
in the big institutions.
like this
Yeah.
one. Yeah. So we had to look at something like that would bring us together, get to know each other just a little bit, and form some sort of a family. Fortunately, as much as we're thinking about it, the executive had the same idea. I believe they looked at the challenges that people were experiencing. So they appointed one of their own, and fortunately, we collaborated
Great.
because of one vision. So that's when this, we called it team building. We didn't say,
Mental health specific, yeah.
Yes, it was team building, but we knew that the aim is to fix our health.
Yeah.
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 The one thing now that we realized, going along with this was that we get to have these challenges or mental health issues because we don't admit them to ourselves. When you have stress, you don't want someone calling you or telling you that you have mental health issues. That's a mental health issue, but because of the exposure, then it's difficult to accept, wow, I've got mental health. It could be something at home, something simple. It stresses you, you come to work, and then it affects
And
your
it keep
work.
on bugging you,
See,
and yeah.
that's a mental health. But now the idea was that because the university tends to give these crazy awareness about the facilities they have, so the main idea was that we should be aware of these resources that the university have
to support
in
staff
support
members.
of the staff
Yes,
members,
yes,
in
yes.
terms of our challenges mentally. So we then decided, okay, let's invite wellness from, for human resources. And then we drafted something that would be more like a series that would start from June to November.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're actually gonna have one other session next week on Wednesday. The last session will be concluded on the 13th of November, which deals with how to take care of yourself and your health as well, because that's the main thing.
Of course.
If you come to work, you need to be sharp here. You get disturbed, that's your mental health. You can actually be on the road, come across an accident. You're not gonna be the same. That's a mental issue.
Of course, yeah.
But we don't admit that, to ourselves. So that was just a way of saying, as much as we are individuals, we need to be aware and,
self-awareness.
Yeah, and accept that this is a mental issue.
And, and if it needs to be addressed, it has to be addressed.
It has to be addressed.
Yes.
There were other, elements that we actually wanted to address. Since we started this whole crazy series, of what we call team building. But the main thing was, dealing with our health
first.
Mentally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Vuyo, thank you so much. This was insightful. We learned a lot from you. And to our viewers and listeners at home, thank you so much for staying with us. Yes, see you on the next session to connect and communicate. And Tato at the back, the horns are still missing. Thank you. Bye.